raises...
How did they send an investigation to his house if CyberLeak doesn't even have a real Twitter? Like, that's not even his real page. He on
to find
pages.
any lead to get the whereabouts of this individual and finally stop them. As confirmed by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier's reporting, we know that Rockstar Games is struggling to find out even how this leak has happened. And we've also seen that on the legal side, they have been extremely active over the last couple of days. We have seen subpoenas sent over to Discord, Twitter X, Google, as well as Microsoft, all pushing to find any single mention of this cyber leak, anybody who has a connection to this person, and try and track them down. The problem also right now is that there is various users that have been LARPing as this person or joking, just mentioning things in passing. But to Rockstar Games, they are going to leave no stone unturned, and that is what's playing out right now in real life. In 2022, when Grand Theft Auto 6 suffered its first massive data breach in which 60 to 70 in-development videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked, they were able to track down the teenager that was responsible within, it felt like, hours. Right. That situation, though, very different than this one, and it is because the individual behind this leak, hack, whatever you want to call it, cyberleak, is a little bit more sophisticated with hiding his identity. On hacking forums in 2022, the Teapot individual behind that leak, hackers were laughing about it because they knew who it was, and they made Rockstar and the authorities' job very, very easy with finding that individual. This one, though, sophisticated. He knows what he's doing, he's hiding, and he's also making a lot of money off his cryptocurrency right now. All of this, though, is a massive problem for Rockstar Games as the leaks just keep on coming. And they seemingly struggle to identify who was responsible for what is arguably one of the biggest video game leaks of all time. Now, one of the biggest leads apparently came the other day in which a Reddit account posted that they were friends of a friend of CyberLeak. This is a post that came about a month ago in which somebody said, August 18th, look out for that date, and then just the other day responded to people saying, did you know about CyberLeak? And he's joked around saying, oh, he's just a friend of a friend. The problem is that Take-Two Interactive, the Rockstar Games community, took that serious. They believe that this was proof that this individual was behind the big Grand Theft Auto 6 leak, and you saw various individuals within this, TGG even making light of this, one of the biggest Grand Theft Auto YouTubers. They all went insane saying, imagine this guy is the CyberLeak. He knows who CyberLeak is. And Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games, they sent their investigators out to this individual to track him down and at least start a conversation and threaten him. Intimidation tactics, something that Rockstar Games and Take-Two...
So they pressed a random Redditor who act like he knew CyberLeak. That's what you get.
Especially are very infamous. They've done this with Grand Theft Auto modders in the past. They've done this with Borderlands YouTubers in the past with stuff that they've posted on their accounts and such. They have a reputation of this. And this individual posted some tidbits of this conversation that he had with the private investigators. The first was the one that started getting a lot of people talking. And it was them knocking on his door saying that they were representing Rockstar Games.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad on yourself.
Sorry, what's your site? Is it?
Yeah, how can I help? What's this about?
My name's David.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of Rockstar.
Okay.
Now that is just the beginning of the situation, because next we have a 1-minute clip of this individual having, again, a discussion with these private investigators in which they accuse this person, Lewis, of knowing CyberLeak and concealing information about his identity. They threaten him. They pretty much say that they'll give search warrants. They're going to go through his electronics and track down who CyberLeak is. The problem, again, is that this individual, Lewis, was just making a joke online and had no idea what this was going to lead to.
Right, basically what they're saying is they're not happy with it. They're not happy with it.
They're not happy with it?
Oh, they're not happy. Obviously, what they're doing now is they're on the phone to the lawyers.
Okay.
So,
I don't know what to tell you because that's 100% the story, so...
Yeah. It's just... Yeah, they're not happy with that. So I don't know if they've heard that for somewhere else or what.
But I heard in the UK and in Canada, it's way more easy to get in trouble with what you say on the internet when it come to when you outside of America.
What,
they're not happy.
They're talking about me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what, they're going to get a search warrant for my devices and stuff?
Don't know, not sure. But basically they're on the phone to the lawyers now, so they're basically... This is sort of like your last chance to say...
It's a warning.
Is this a scare tactic to try and get me to fess up?
It's not. We're not looking for any fess up. We're not looking for... Basically, what we're after is, do you know certain individuals under certain handles? And
no.
Who are the associates? That's what we're after. Ultimately, that's what they're after, and I think they'll keep on pushing that because obviously, at the end of the day, you put something out online, it's then guessed a day, just due to pure chance, which is hard to believe, being honest.
Well, the only reason I checked Rockstar is what.
And as you can see, yeah, the private goons, they definitely know what they're doing here. And this was just the beginning of a conversation because, as they alluded to, they got Take-Two lawyers on the line, which again accused Lewis of knowing who CyberLeak is and trying to hide his identity. And I have to next add that I actually had a conversation with Lewis, and he added a lot more details about what exactly has happened here and how this has led to just a giant shitstorm, to say at the very least.
Hey, they watching you too, Legacy. They watching you too. Rockstar come to me, say, hey, you know, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. You feel me? I'm learning everything off the internet. I'm a random. I don't want to talk to Lewis. I don't want to talk to nobody. What? Yeah, I just talked to Lewis. You could accept that. You all right? I'm just playing. They ain't worried about this nigga.
But he does go into detail about the specific threats that Take-Two Interactive's lawyers and these PIs used against him. He mentions how they already knew much of his identity, his travels to America, how the FBI is involved. He mentions the scare tactics of bringing about what happened to the 2022 leaker and how he's in jail. His connection to another YouTuber, Larry Lawson, is also brought up here. There's just a lot here, including how his family is a bit shaken based on how these events have transpired. But we're going to start first with how this all began, the first knock at his door, in which he mentions that he was awoken to all of this.
Yeah, well, because my mum woke me up. I was just got off a night shift. I was sleeping, and then she said there's 2 men at the door. So I'm immediately thinking I'm gonna have to get into a fucking fight here. I thought I was about to get killed. So I start recording, and you hear in the first video that I posted, I sounded a little bit nervous, but then in the minute longer video, once I realized who they were, it was a sigh of relief to me when they said they were from Rockstar. I was like, oh, thank for that. You know what I mean?
Thank God.
You know how it is, but yeah.
So as Lewis says there, 2 men approached his door. They were looking for him, and he didn't know what their motivation or anything. He thought that they were there maybe to fight him. I don't know exactly Lewis's history or what's exactly going on over there in the
Lewis ain't living right.
UK, but he definitely thought that this was going to be a fight or something along those lines. Not Rockstar Games investigators there to talk to him about Reddit posts that he made. Next, though, Lewis goes over what he initially tells these private investigators, that he was literally just trying to predict Trailer 3. He didn't expect that this was going to turn into something as massive as it has been.
But I said to them, look, I just predicted Trailer 3 is a mid-August Tuesday, and it turned out that the leaks happened on that day, and then they fucking somehow tied that in with me and being CyberLeak. I was trying to annoy the people in that Reddit on purpose because they don't appreciate Rockstar, and they were bitching about the game. So I was just shit posting just to troll them, and then it backfired, but it is what it is.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of how jokes can go terribly wrong, in which you have private investigators by your doorstep not believing anything you're saying. And this entire fiasco is something that, who knows if this is the end for Lewis. Like, we could see an update soon that these private investigators are back and now have warrants for his electronic devices. But it definitely sounds like to me that this was just a troll, a joke. He just didn't expect that this is the direction that things were going to go in. But this is serious stuff, especially being that this is one of the biggest franchises ever, and billions of dollars are at stake, and they have everything. They have to track down this CyberLeak individual, because if they don't, there's the possibility spoilers and some massive damaging footage could get out. That's the big unknown that right now they face, and all of us. But Lewis next goes over the reality of this situation and how his Reddit account is very public, has a bunch of identifying information. It doesn't make sense why he would put out just there saying, like, I know CyberLeak, he's my BFF, we're friends of friends. It was clearly a joke. Unfortunately, though, the Rockstar community already was doxing him even before it seems like these Take-Two investigators
Why would you say you know CyberLeak? Why would you say you know the hacker that... Bro, you releasing GTA 6 early, nigga, that's my business, the mob on you. That's mafioso. Bro, that's $1 billion game. Ain't nobody playing with you. Oh, I know CyberLeak. Ha ha ha. No, I don't. I don't know CyberLeak. What the fuck? And he on Reddit talking to people like, I know him, man. Yeah. Bro, if I'm Rockstar, I'm gonna say, bro, go hack his IP real quick.
Investigating him. They're putting out all this information about him, creating like a manifesto. So yeah, this individual is right now facing the full wrath of the Grand Theft Auto community because many of them do believe that he is hiding information about this CyberLeak identity.
Yeah, well, you know what the funny thing is people are going crazy, but why would I post something serious on my main Reddit account with all public information about me? I mean, there's so much identifying shit on there that I don't care about. Like, why would I do that? Stupid. I mean, my dad, before he passed, you know, he was into all the cybersecurity shit. You know, I'm pretty clued up on that stuff, and I know that doesn't matter. They can still bypass that. But
so up to this point in time of recording this video, Lewis has released 2 videos showing these private investigators approaching and their initial discussion with Lewis. But Lewis next goes over what exactly happened afterwards. He talks about the scare tactics that they used, including the mention that the FBI is involved and are going to be investigating all of this as well.
And then they went back to their cars and they were talking to each other. I could see them out of the upstairs window in my house, and I think they were working out a new tactic or a different angle to come at me with, because initially they tried to intimidate me with all these big words, mentioning the FBI, and said they're on the case and stuff, and I didn't buy any of it. And then they sort of went back, had a chat, and then come back and then got the Take Two lawyers on the phone, and I think that was their next intimidation step, but again that didn't work. And then they sort of looked pretty confused on what to say. They stood there silent in my house, just texting. So yeah, and then they got off.
So next up, Lewis goes over his first conversation with the Take-Two lawyers, and like the private investigators, like that initial video that he shared online, they do not believe him. They do not care what he has to say. They believe that he knows who CyberLeak is, and they want answers.
Yeah, I spoke to the Take-Two lawyers and they said, look, we're all sitting around the table. This is your last chance to be honest with us, or this is going to get worse for you. And I'm like, all right, well, I told you the truth and I'm not going to lie to you again. And I said that's on record. So I was like, you know, you just woke me up coming to my door with this bullshit.
Right, this bullshit.
I told you the truth. If you don't like it, you can fuck off or do something about it. So that's the way it is.
And yeah, as you heard in that video, he clearly mentions that the FBI is investigating. And I do wonder their role within this entire trackdown, if they are working closely with Take-Two lawyers to give them information on these individuals, to then contact them and such. It's unclear exactly what the FBI is doing here. But again, Take-Two Interactive.
They got a studio in GTA.
Massive company, billions of dollars. Them having more of a role with the authorities would make a lot of sense, especially because in 2022 they had a lot of access with the UK police and the FBI. They were all investigating.
You talking about a rap studio, or are you talking about the executive offices? What are you talking about?
Hacker, and that seemingly is exactly what's going down right now with CyberLeak, although this time around they're not having much luck so far with finding him, and they're just trying to find any lead possible. And I think that's what this is. They're throwing anything at the wall, just hoping that it sticks, but so far there just isn't much here. Although, unfortunately for Lewis, they're ready to turn his life upside down just off the sliver of hope that maybe he's being serious and maybe he's not joking and he is best friends with this guy CyberLeak. Although that would make no sense with any of this, because I don't think CyberLeak would be that sloppy. And I think that's the feeling that a lot of people have on this ordeal.
Absolutely. Look how crazy this is going on the internet. So many different conspiracy theories.
It is.
And they're actively monitoring my Reddit, and they see the that I'm putting on there. Because when they were in my house, they actually said to me, the lawyers have just told us what you put on your Reddit. And I said, yeah, I'm well within my fucking right to tell them what's going on. You know, you haven't charged me with a crime. I'm allowed to speak about it. There's not an ongoing court case against me. But apparently I'm being looked at by the FBI, so they're probably scrutinizing all my trips to America. And
did they mention that? Did they mention the FBI?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all on record, sir. And they
Jay, bro, you worry about a studio. We gotta see if we gonna get the game, bro. We gotta see if we gonna get the game, bro. You worry about the studio. We gotta get the game first, bro. I don't even want to think about nothing what's gonna be on there until it come out, bro. Cause they might drop a whole new game at this point, cause they're not even done with developing. I don't think they still developing the game. Whatever got leaked, that's not the final version, bro.
Mention my trips to America because I've been there.
So they already knew that stuff about you. They already knew, like, oh, you've been to America. We already have access to all of who you are, Lewis, and all of that.
Lewis, yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to affect me in the long term. If they're going to cancel my visas and shit, I don't know. But I'm not worried about it. I'll just see what happens and play it out.
Next, though, you need to understand who Larry Lawton is, because this individual, his relationship with Lewis is weaponized. So Lewis in the past served as a live stream moderator for Larry Lawton, and Lawton apparently in the past has talked about how he has some sort of relationship with Rockstar. People will have to track that down. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually accurate, but it's something that Lewis has said on his social media account. He says that he is a good
Spectra has also found a Reddit post where he mentions Larry that could be the friend of friend who he was bragging about.
good friend. I worked for him as a moderator before his live streams. He has a connection with GTA 6, I believe, from a statement that he has made. But people, including Take-Two Interactive, seemingly imply, or they basically say it to him, that Larry Lawton, maybe that he's an insider for Larry Lawton, and that's the actual individual behind all of this. And Larry Lawton is a YouTuber. He runs a channel. He's actually interviewed people like Ned Luke in the past. He's also done breakdowns for Grand Theft Auto, but he's known for being an ex-convict, and he's talked about his experiences of, doing jewel heists and stuff in the past, and that's relevant to a game like Grand Theft Auto. He's had a bunch of mega viral videos.
Bro, really hitting real jewel heists. Bro said off topic, but you should play Detroit Become Human or Watch Dogs. That should be overly entertaining. This would be a good time to replay Watch Dogs. That's a good idea. That is a great idea. I played Watch Dogs 2. I beat Watch Dogs 2. I played 1. I don't really remember 1 like that. I just know it was in Chicago. But Watch Dogs 2, I love that one because it was in San Francisco. And it was talking about a lot of the data stuff, but I was just running through the game. I was just beating the campaign. I wasn't really looking at it from a certain lens. Like, now when you think about the flock camera and all that stuff was going on, the surveillance state, it'd be good to replay that. Detroit Becomes Human, I remember downloading that game on my PlayStation, but I never played it. I swear, bro. But I'm gonna start my gaming channel and all that for sure. All that stuff is on the way.
In the past, but seemingly that relationship, the fact that Lewis was a live stream moderator, gets weaponized by Take-Two Interactive.
They tried to bring up my connection with the YouTuber Larry Lawson. So he came out one time. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a big YouTuber. He went to prison. He was a big jewel thief or whatever. And he does podcasts.
I've heard of him,
a jewel thief podcaster.
But yeah, they tried to tie him into it as well and say that his connection with Rockstar Games, because he's come out publicly and said in one of his comment sections that he's working with them on something.
You made it, man.
Said that he's my insider, but I don't speak to the guy regularly. He's just somebody I know and I've worked for in the past.
Yeah, my view on this is just that Take-Two Interactive, they're grasping at straws, trying to believe, I guess, that these intimidation scare tactics are going to get him to confess to something that I think he obviously didn't do. But they do go on to mention, this is another scare tactic, the 2022 leaker, and they use what happened to that individual in which they were put in a jail, although I think it's like some sort of asylum because he has some other mental issues or something going on. But they pretty much say that, look what happened to that guy. Could happen to you if, you actually do know what's happening here. And again, they don't believe anything he's saying. They don't believe that he was just hinting at trailer 3.
He put the lawyers on loudspeaker on the phone, and I can't remember what was specifically said, but they said no. I told them the same story, and they said they're not buying it. And they sat around the table in New York, and they basically told me what they did with the 2022 leaker after they found him, to try and intimidate me and sort of pushing me to come clean about something.
Hey, on him, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's really all it is.
So yeah, after all of these accusations, all of these crazy theories that Take-Two lawyers and the private investigators are throwing at Lewis, they leave. But there's no definitive end to this situation because they literally just leave. He has no idea what to expect, what's to come, if anything.
No, they left. They were stood in my house. They were waiting for some lawyers in New York to call them back, so they said, and then without saying a word, they just left and drove off. Obviously I left the house, moved my stuff, and come back, and they were still there. And yeah, so I'm expecting to get arrested at any moment. It's 3 a.m. I'm just waiting for the front door to go.
So after this discussion about what exactly happened with these investigators and all of this, I did again ask Lewis, does he know who CyberLeak is? And he made crystal clear he has absolutely no idea who this individual is, and he said that in the most, many expletives were said.
Yeah, I ain't got a fucking clue. And, I was I put that post up saying August 18th. Don't ask me how I know. And I was just taking the piss, And then it turned out to actually something happens on that day, and I'm like, oh.
Lewis then further adds that he was completely honest with these investigators. He said exactly what happened to them, and he's ultimately ready for wherever this goes. Whether that brings him to court, he doesn't care. He thinks it's going to be absolutely hilarious if they go to those lengths with this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part is that I was completely upfront and honest with them. And I told them exactly what had happened, and now they want to make it a big deal, so I'm all for it. They take me to court. I hope they arrest me publicly. I want to be on news, because it'll be a story. I don't give a shit. I'll laugh about it in 2 years' time, and I'll be having a great time. So I don't give a shit. I'm just sat here smoking a cigarette, waiting for the door to get kicked in or blown off by SAS soldiers.
And like many watching, Lewis is another Grand Theft Auto fan. He's eagerly anticipating GTA 6, but all he was doing in his eyes was shitposting on social media, making a couple jokes with the GTA community, and didn't think too much of it. But when you're dealing with billion-dollar companies, they take this stuff very, very seriously, and this is the consequence. It really is a great lesson on the dangers of being a little too open on social media or making jokes about situations that, at least in Take-Two eyes, it's not a joke. And right now, they are struggling. They can't find this CyberLeak guy, and any mention of it on any single website, they are using that as an investigation tool. I have to assume that they're sending investigators all across the world for any possibility of
made a little video right quick
finding this guy. But thus far, it doesn't seem like any of these leads have gone anywhere. Still, though, I did ask Lewis if he has a message for Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive, and again, a lot of expletives said, but he does have a message for them.
Yeah, you can go yourself personally, because look, I'm a 19-year-old from Suffolk, England. I don't give a what anybody knows about me or what anybody says they're going to do. You can come do something about it. I'm not related to this at all. I'm not scared by your big corporations and your billion dollars and like that. I do not give a come do it. Give me a story to tell. I don't give a That's my message to Rockstar and Take-Two and those lawyers.
Ultimately, though, the consequences of this entire ordeal isn't just something linked to Take-Two investigators coming to his door. It's also linked to the fact that people on social media are... Some of these diehard GTA fans will send just nasty things. They also want him to monetize this entire ordeal, this situation. It's a lot, and there's a lot of conspiracies about his name and everything. It's just crazy how overboard this fan base can be at times.
I mean, there's people making crypto coins in my name, and
are they really?
The funny part, and yeah, there was people.
He already has a meme coin. The Lewis meme coin. I'm done. This is crazy. I gotta get some of this. I need some of this. I don't want none of this, actually. Matter of fact, I don't want none of this. I just feel like I'm missing out. Yeah, meme coin Lewis. Well, technically, I don't got nothing to do with the leaks. If you make money off a meme coin, are you technically under investigation now? Let me know what y'all think in the comments about this. If you make money off a meme coin that is associated with GTA 6 leaking, I didn't create it, but I just got in and got out. Am I under investigation?
People conspiring about what Pilot X 1970 meant. I'm just like, that was
Pilot
my dad's old Reddit
X9.
name. It's like not some weird Illuminati secret society crap. I mean, seriously?
And the final touch of this interview that I wanted to bring up was the emotional toll this has been on Lewis's family, having these investigators approach, making these just insane accusations. And Lewis does talk about how there's been doxing. People are already doing that for him. I showed some of that off earlier on the video. There's also been threats that have been levied against him. Like I said, some of these people in this GTA fan base just go way overboard. And this entire ordeal, it seems like there is some pure hatred for this CyberLeak guy. Some of these people will go to bat for a company like Rockstar Games. I don't understand it, but yes, people are diehard fans, and that some are really, really that mad about all of this.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let them get away with it that easily, coming to my door and bringing my family home and scaring my
I don't blame you.
Shit like that, and trying to intimidate me. So they better compensate me, because people are actively sending me death threats, trying to dox me like that. Not that I give a but Because if you're gonna come do something, come do it and just see what happens. But
yeah, that's why I was curious earlier. Was your family at all alarmed by what was happening with all of this?
Absolutely. I mean, my mother's in a high emotional state. She just lost her husband, and then for this to be brought upon us isn't great. So, but you know, I'm a man that can handle the consequences, so I don't care.
Anyway, this is just an absolute bizarre first-hand account of somebody talking with Take-Two investigators. I mean, this is something that's happened over the years, but having an account like this, and even some footage of it, it's just kind of crazy. But it shows the seriousness.
Off of trolling though, like he not even really linked to that cyber leak shit. Like, well, according to Lewis, he literally just, bro, this is why it's no point of responding to comments and all that shit. Like, bro, this nigga then got under investigation from commenting on a Reddit
of this Grand Theft Auto 6 situation. And
that's insane, bro. That's insane. Should I react to one more video, or am I just stream a little later? I was gonna react to this flock